Hi everybody, it's Christopher and welcome to Life's Not Over, It Just Looks Different on YouTube. In today's video, I want to talk about electric cars and electric scooters or e-scooters. First, I want to talk about electric cars. I'm actually looking forward to the day that electric cars become more of a mainstream thing and more people have them because it'll be better for the environment. Hopefully easier on the pocketbook, although there's no guarantees on that one. But with the price of gas increasing the way it is right now during the pandemic, I'm hoping that electric cars will be cheaper. And I'm also looking forward, as I've probably talked about in a previous video, to the day when self-driving cars become a thing and I can get one of those because, well, then the world is mine. But we're not there yet. One thing I do want to talk about is I know that in Canada, the US, Europe, and other parts of the world, they are talking about putting a sound in electric vehicles. And that's going to be a good thing and a necessary thing so that people who are blind or partially sighted know when there is a vehicle around them. Whether it's electric or gas-powered or whatever, it needs to make noise so that we know that those things are there. There was actually a story that came out during the Paralympics recently about a blind Paralympian who had been struck by an electric vehicle because they didn't know it was there. So yes, I'm definitely in favor of electric vehicles making a sound. I don't know what that sound is going to be yet. I know different countries are working on different things, but I definitely encourage that progression and I'm looking forward to the day that happens. And that kind of takes me also to e-scooters or electric scooters. They also need to make a sound because they're silent and they can come up out of nowhere and very quickly. Not that long ago, I was out for a walk, and while I was walking on the side of a road, a gentleman went whizzing by me in an e-scooter. Now, he gave me plenty of space because it was not a very busy road and he had lots of space to be nowhere near me. But even as he kind of whizzed by and caught me by surprise, I was thinking, wow, those things really need to make a noise. Because there are places where e-scooters are, whether illegally or legally, being ridden on sidewalks. And on a sidewalk, there isn't necessarily the space to give lots of clearance as you go by somebody, whether it be a fully sighted, able-bodied person, whether it's a person with sight loss, person with hearing loss, somebody pushing a stroller, or a senior. There's not always the space because some sidewalk blocks are not very wide. So these devices need to make a sound so that people know they're coming and know that an e-scooter is around. I read an article recently where in Toronto, there of course is, for those of you who are in the know on this, there's a lot of push against e-scooters in Toronto, and so far it's been successful. And there was a quote in the article that I was reading from one of the e-scooter company representatives saying that he didn't think e-scooters need to make a sound because bicycles don't need to make a sound. That is actually not completely true. Bicycles are supposed to have either a horn or a bell on them, and the operator of the bicycle is supposed to use it to warn other people when they're passing by them and when they're near them. But the problem is it's manually operated and it's not always used. However, where the argument and the comparison for e-scooters and bicycles falls apart is e-scooters are motorized, more like electric cars. They move much faster, they can come up out of nowhere, so they need to make a sound as far as I'm concerned because it's just going to make it better and safer for everybody if they know that an e-scooter is around, if they can hear it coming. And the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to e-scooters is the need for cities to create designated parking zones for these things to be parked. Just like we have bike racks scattered throughout cities, there should be designated scooter parking zones, parking areas. Because right now, many e-scooter users, because it's just a rental device, they drop them off wherever. And sometimes that's in the middle of the sidewalk, sometimes it's leaned up against a post that might be the post that activates the automated pedestrian signal. And it looks really sloppy. It looks sloppy for the cities when you've got these things scattered all over the place. So it would be much better if there was designated parking zones where these things could be sort of corralled and which look much tidier for everybody else who's around in the city. So I'm asking scooter users to please be more considerate when you're using these devices. When you're done with it, I realize it's not yours, you just rented it, you're done, but park it out of the way. Park it in what is known usually as the furniture zone, which is usually closer to the curb where light poles are or other signage and planter boxes and stuff like that. Put it in there where it's not in the main path of travel, so it's not in the way of people with sight loss. It's not in the way of people using other mobility devices like wheelchairs. And it's also not in the way of people pushing strollers or seniors or even the fully able-bodied people who have to navigate around them. Just push it out of the way when you're done with it, because it'll make it safer for everybody and it looks a whole lot less sloppy for your city. That is everything I wanted to say on electric vehicles and electric scooters. I want to thank you very much for watching today. I really do appreciate each and every one of you who watch these videos. Thank you so much for doing so, and I hope you have a wonderful day.